The government, on the occasion of the Constitution Day last Wednesday, had provided general amnesty to some 670 criminals serving sentences for crimes including murder. Even as the government had refrained from providing pardon to a number of other criminals, taking into account the brutality of the crime, it has now come to the light that Yugraj Thakal, a mastermind in connection with the broad daylight killing of an activist, Chetan Manandhar, has been provided presidential pardon, riding on his political connection. Incidents like these surely don't augur well for the future of federalism in the nation. Good evening, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Indra Jatra being observed by worshipping Devraj Indra, the god of rain and good harvest. President Paudel at Hanuman Thoka to grace the Indra Jatra festival. The ruling CPN Center says efforts are ongoing to disrupt religious and ethnic harmony in the country in recent days. Urges all to remain vigilant. Curfew imposed in parts of Indian state of Manipur as violence escalates over the killing of 2 students. Security experts call the situation in Manipur comparable to civil war. And Nepal's shuttlers begin with a win in Asian Games badminton to advance into the quarterfinals. Defeat Mongolia 3-1. Nepal's board show in table tennis continues. Indra Jatra is being observed today by worshipping Devraj Indra, the god of rain and good harvest. The festival is observed in Kathmandu as well as Kavre and Dolakha with religious and cultural significance. Indra Jatra is being observed in capital's Hanuman Thoka today. President Ramchandra Paudel, among other high-ranking officials, reached Hanuman Thoka to observe the festival earlier this afternoon. As per the tradition, the president observed the chariot procession of living goddess Kumari, Ganesh and Bhairav. Indra Jatra formally began with the installation of a sacred wooden pole or lingo called Yasin in Nepal Bhasa at Hanuman Thoka Darbar Square. The main day of the 8-day festival today is being celebrated by organizing various cultural programs. The ruling CPN Center has said that the religious and ethnic turmoil in the country have started surfacing and has urged everyone to remain alert. Speaking to journalists after the meeting of the office bearers in party office in capital's Peristada, spokesperson Agni Prasad Sapkota, hinting towards a number of incidents in recent times in various parts of the country, said that efforts were being made to disrupt religious and ethnic harmony. According to Sapkota, the meeting of the office bearers of CPN Center concluded that efforts were required to prevent the surfacing of religious and ethnic turmoil. Likewise, the meeting concluded that the government must immediately hold dialogue with the agitating relief teachers and address their issues. The meeting also maintained that a dialogue must be held with the concerned entities regarding the education bill that has been presented at the parliament. Speaker Sapkota said that the meeting has decided to call for support in its effort to prevent corruption. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what should be done to manage the footpath shops in urban areas? Your options are A, provide alternatives, B, allocate timings, and C, implement the law. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Over 100 doctors of Lumbini Medical College and Teaching Hospital in Tansen of Palpa district launched protest earlier today against a string of attacks on doctors and health professionals in different parts of the country. Consultant doctors, resident doctors, interns as well as medical students of Lumbini Medical College held demonstrations earlier today. The resident doctors said that the organized attacks on doctors at various places have prevented them from working in a fear-free environment. The doctors who had gathered in Tansen Bus Park in Palpa had started a march from Tansen municipality to Tudihil, Pimsentol, Narantol, Palpa Hospital, Lahari people before converging at Tudihil in Tansen. They have said that the protest will continue until the government took action against those who are guilty and pledged to prevent such incident in the future. The road section between Thading's Tari Besi and Salyantar that had been blacktopped in the last week of the previous fiscal year has been damaged within 2 months. The road section that was blacktopped by Tripura Sundari Rural Municipality through contract with the complementary loan provided by the federal government has been damaged within 2 months. The construction of the road section had been divided into 3 sections and was done by construction companies Haris Tara Construction, Mahalakshmi Om Briddha JV and Gaurav Garib JB at an investment of almost 110 million rupees. The works of blacktopping the 4-kilometer road section had completed. However, installation of traffic signals have yet to be carried out. Time now for our segment, International News. North Korea has adopted a constitutional amendment to enshrine its policy on nuclear force as the country's leader pledged to accelerate
우리식 사회주의의 전면적 발전을 위한 백년대계 투쟁을 줄기찬 위원들인 김덕훈 동지, 최룡해 동지.
The North's rubber stamp parliament, the Supreme People's Assembly, unanimously adopted at a 2-day meeting which ended yesterday the revision of the constitution to stipulate that North Korea develops highly nuclear weapons to ensure its rights to existence and to deter war. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un called for exponentially boosting the production of nuclear weapons and diversifying the nuclear strike means and deploying them in different services, saying the US has gone to extremes in its military provocations with drills and the deployment of strategic assets in the region. The amendment comes a year after North Korea officially enshrined in law the right to use preemptive nuclear strikes to protect itself, a move Kim had said would make its nuclear status irreversible. India imposed curfew in the capital and some areas of its restive state of Manipur today after scores of students were injured in violence following protests against the alleged abduction and murder of 2 students. Ethnic violence has plunged the northeastern state bordering Myanmar into what many security experts describe as an intense civil war fought over land, jobs and political clout between its 2 largest local groups. More than 80 students were injured in Wednesday's clashes, another police official said on condition of anonymity. He added that the situation was extremely tense after armed mobs vandalized an office of a ruling political party and hurled petrol bombs at 2 police sites. Mobile internet services have been suspended in the state for 5 days, officials said. Since the violence first erupted on 3rd of May, more than 180 people have been killed and over 50,000 have fled their homes in Manipur. More than half the state's population of 3.2 million belongs to the Meitei community, while the Kuki community, who make up about 43%, live mostly in the hills. Protests reignited over the alleged kidnapping and killing of 2 students of the Meitei community who had gone missing in July after their bodies were found this week. The news went viral, reviving the ethnic tension. U.S. Army Private Travis King landed at a U.S. military base in Texas early today after being expelled from North Korea following his surprise dash across the heavy militarized border 2 months ago. The plane carrying King landed at Joint Base San Antonio this morning after King was handed over to U.S. custody yesterday following his expulsion from North Korea into China. While details about the diplomacy that led to King's transfer remained scarce, the development was a rare example of cooperation between the United States, North Korea and China. 23-year-old King went to North Korea from the south on July 18 while on a civilian tour of their heavily fortified border and was immediately taken into North Korean custody. Hundreds of family members gathered to mourn the loss of their loved ones in northern Iraq's Nineveh province on Wednesday after a deadly fire sparked by fireworks at a wedding turned what should have been a day of celebration into tragedy. The incident occurred on Tuesday evening at a venue in Hamdania, about 40 kilometers from the northern city of Mosul, when flames swept through a wedding hall as the bride and groom were dancing on the ballroom floor. At least 100 people were killed and hundreds injured when the blaze ripped through a banquet hall. Sparks from a pyrotechnics machine are believed to have set ceiling panels on fire, sending panicked guests rushing for the exits. Though the bride and groom were initially feared to be among the casualties, it was later reported that they had survived. On Wednesday, hundreds gathered to attend the funerals of a number of the victims. Families clutching photos of their loved ones prayed and sobbed as coffins were carried for burial. At the Al Hamdania General Hospital, many who escaped are being treated for varying degrees of injuries. Local media reported that highly flammable construction materials were used in the building, which is likely to have worsened the extent of the disaster. Several staff members and the owner of the venue were arrested on Wednesday as an investigation into the incident is now underway. The Iraqi government has announced 3 days of mourning following the heartbreaking tragedy. China launched its first high-speed rail line that will travel across several bays and skim along the coast of the southeastern province of Fujian near the Taiwan Strait. Footage from CCTV showed the bullet train departing from Fuzhou, the capital of Fujian, earlier this morning, marking the opening of the 277-kilometer Fuzhou-Xiamen-Zhangzhou railway. The bullet train can reach 350 kilometers per hour. China recently announced details of its plan to turn Fujian into a zone for integrated development with Taiwan, which sits opposite the province. China is hoping the link will enhance investment opportunities and make travel easier. A Chinese government official said an integrated multi-dimensional transportation network has been built in Fujian that will make it technically possible to construct a high-speed transport passage linking the province with Taiwan. And before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Indra Jatra being observed by worshipping Devraj Indra, the god of rain and good harvest. President Paudel at Hanuman Thoka to praise the Indra Jatra. The ruling CPN Maoist Center says efforts are ongoing to disrupt religious and ethnic harmony in the country in recent days, urges all to remain vigilant. Curfew imposed in parts of Indian state of Manipur as violence escalates over the killing of 2 students. Security experts call situation in Manipur comparable to civil war. And Nepal's shuttlers begin with a win in Asian Games badminton to advance into the quarterfinals. Defeat Mongolia 3 sets to 1. Nepal's board show in table tennis continues. That's all for the moment. Our next English bulletin will be at 10:30 tonight. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.